Thank you so much for joining us again. This is Chirizi Mabungu from the Financial Literacy Corner, part of Chirizi Mabungu Financial Literacy Foundation. This is the podcast that talks about financial literacy. We'll start by introducing ourselves. We'll start from that side, coming this side. You introduce yourselves, who you are, and then what do you do at Panda?
Okay, my name is Samantha Apollos, and I am the co-founder of Panda.
Yes.
I am in the background. I am in product development. So
Yes.
I am the one that lets him know what I want done.
Yes.
He's the guy that gets it done.
Yes.
So yeah, that's me.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm Jamin. So I'm also co-founder and CEO of Panda.
Yes.
We are a payroll software company,
Uh-huh.
and I've been the one that developed the application. So wherever there's gaps, like Samantha mentioned,
Yes.
and something that she wants fine-tuned, because
Yes.
she's very involved with the community and the people that
Yes.
use our products, she'll let me know, and I implement it as well. So she's part of the strategic plan of product, and I look after the overall company as well.
Okay. You look like you're related.
Yeah.
What is the relationship between the two of you?
So we're husband and wife.
Husband and wife, wow.
100%. Yeah, married for
12 years.
12 years now.
12 years, wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
12 years.
beautiful. So you are business partners and you're also life partners.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. And let's start with you, Samantha. Let's hear your background. We'll come to you after that. Let's hear your background. Where were you born? How did you grow up? Because people are thinking, you know what, Samantha is fortunate. She just, grew up in a situation where obviously everything was there for her. That is why she's where she is. So let's listen to you so that our people out there can understand and know who you are, Samantha.
So I'm from El Dorado Park, born and raised. I am a sibling of 3, the oldest.
Yes.
So that is where I'm from. We grew up with hardships. We didn't have it easy in life. So we stayed in a 2-bedroom flat,
Yeah.
a family of 5.
Wow.
So that is how we were raised. A lot of people might think that we had it easy, but we didn't have it easy. I used to remember I used to walk about 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers daily from home to school and then back on a daily basis. Summer, winter, autumn, spring.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So we come from hardships. We come from, and those are the things that build us. Those are the things, that mold us into who we are. I've been raised in a Christian family.
Yes.
Wonderful parents. Mom and dad is still married, and we were fortunate to have that growing up. So
Yes.
yeah, that's basically who I am. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful daughters,
Yes.
and yeah, I had upbringing that has been difficult, but I've been very fortunate of where I've been raised, how I've been raised with my family, being raised in a Christian household.
Yes.
And that set the foundation for me as to where I am today. So that's my
Wow,
background.
that's beautiful. And when you talk about elders, there's a lot of stories that we hear, and then there's a lot of challenges that the community is facing there. Sometimes it's about crime, sometimes it's about substance abuse by the youth and all that. And you are growing up in that situation, you're seeing all those things, but at the end of the day, you are where you are now.
Yes.
And that should be something that we need to celebrate and say, you know what, it doesn't matter where you're from,
It really
you
doesn't.
can be able to make it.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Then obviously we want to know how where the CEO comes from, because then now you might find that he may be from a different background altogether.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was born and raised so my dad is from George, which
Yes.
is in the Western Cape, Southwestern Cape. My mom
Yes.
was from Cape Town.
Yes.
And when they got married, they moved and relocated to Johannesburg.
Yes.
And when they moved and relocated to Johannesburg, it was in Hillbrow.
Yes.
So we, myself and my brother, 2 siblings, the 2 of us, born and raised in Joburg. So our household, dad from George, mom from Cape Town, and the
Yes.
boys from Johannesburg.
Yes.
So staying in Hillbrow, this was like the early 90s, and the
Yes.
80s as well. So we've seen the community change from what it used to be like and to where it started to transition to. I also grew up in a 1-bedroom apartment, and that me and my brother's room was the lounge.
Yes.
And that's where we actually slept at at night as well. So we come from a place where my dad was one that worked extremely hard for us, gave us a lot of opportunities, and bent his backwards
Oh my
just
God.
to make a plan
Fathers, yes.
for us to do the great things in life. And our mother was one. So my mother passed on in 2013.
Yes, yes.
So she was one that always taught us the principles according to the word.
Yes.
And that's the things that we live by, the principles. And then later on in life, we started to see a little bit of changes.
Yes.
We moved to an area called Crosby, which is in the west of Johannesburg.
Yes.
And a little bit different life to the upbringing. So we've seen a lot. And that is the type of things that have shaped us in our characters and how I operate today as well. So I'll also maybe later on in the interview, we'll talk about careers and where I started in and how actually Panda came into existence 100%.
Of course, we'll get to that. And the reason why I want this background is because there are kids out there who are living in very difficult environments. Some are living in townships, some are living obviously in cities, but the opportunities, when they look at the world now, they don't see opportunities and they don't see whether they can be able to start businesses or even get employment. And that is one challenge that we have. But when they start looking up at people who made it and who managed to get to a certain level in life, they start thinking, you know what, maybe I can have hope too. I can be able to make it. Even if I'm South African, in Africa, I can be able to make it and compete in the world stage. So those are the kind of things that we look at. But looking at both your backgrounds, you grow up in hardship, I must say, because if you don't have your own space where you say, I'm a man, I'm a young man now, I want my own place where I can sleep and do my own thing alone, my own bedroom and all that. But you have to share with siblings. And it's not one sibling, it's maybe 3, 4 siblings. That is a lot. And looking at your parents, obviously that must have also motivated you to say, these parents are trying their best to raise us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is hard out there. So when you're talking about your background, I'm like, did they just copy my background and they want to come and talk about me here? Yeah. Because I also grew up, actually, my background is in a village, but it was also a mom and dad, and my dad lost his job in 1993, just before the elections. He lost his job and he came back home. So after the elections, obviously, it's new to South Africa, but you have a new environment that is not that good at all. Yeah. So we grew up in such a situation, and hence am where I am, trying my best to make sure that other people don't go through the same situation. So I want to get to the level where now you have grown. Now you're going to tertiary, and then what do you guys go and study? I'll start with you. Yeah. What do you go and study now? And what influenced that? What you study? Because at the end of the day, sometimes whatever we choose as a career is influenced by our background or by things that we saw or people that were in our lives.
100%. So I don't have no formal education.
Yes.
I matriculated in the early 2000s, and as soon as I matriculated, I needed to get employed.
Yes,
because the conditions at home.
Yes.
We didn't have I wouldn't say that we struggled per se, but my dad always taught us principles that as a man, it is your duty to provide.
Exactly.
And you should be able to look after yourself and make a contribution to the society that you stay in. So I started working earlier on. I struggled in school.
Yes.
I wasn't academically smart. So I struggled a bit in school, but eventually I made it through.
Yes.
And when I did pass and get my matric, I started to work. And I worked in one of the big banks in South Africa. And I started off in the call center space. And I used to temp through this organization. It was very popular in those days.
Yes.
And during my lunch break, there was a buddy and me, we always used to sit with these guys.
Yes.
And they used to do the payroll for the company.
Wow. Okay.
So there were certain confidential things that they couldn't show us.
Yes.
But in terms of how the system worked,
yes,
they showed us the full works of how we done. And I worked for that bank for about 5 years. And then an opportunity came available at this company that I was temping through. And they said, hey, Jamin, you're always showing interest in the software and the things that we do. we've got an opening. Don't you want to come through for an interview? I went through for an interview, but the interview was more like a chat.
Yes.
And at the end of the interview, I wasn't even interviewed. I walked out.
Yes.
And the manager that I was recruiting for that position
Yes.
just started introducing me to the team.
What?
And he said, "This is Jamin.
Okay.
He's going to be starting with us on Monday."
Wow.
And I was shocked there. Like, I thought we're still going to go through to the
Through
next
the
phases and
next
the
phase and all
formal
that.
interview.
Yes.
But I was grateful at the same time. And that's where my passion for HR and payroll started. So that was like in the early 2000s. And through my career, I worked at many various companies. I think in 2019, 2020 was where I started working for a startup company. And working at that startup, you start working with individuals that you see build, have an entrepreneurial mindset that want to grow things. And the CEO and co-founder of the company at the time always encouraged everyone that, guys, even though you're working for this organization, I want you all to think bigger than this. And myself and my wife, we always had dreams of wanting to own our own things.
Yes.
And in 2021, there was a moment, like it was a very painful event that we went through that shifted our comfort zone. And got us to a place where we were like, okay, this is the time that we need to start doing something different. And that's how Panda was
Wow.
born. So that's just a little bit about my background.
Yes.
I'll pass it over to some.
No, but then I need to follow up on
Yes,
some
sir.
of the things that you spoke about. There are kids out there. They have grade 12.
Yeah.
They're sitting and they're saying, you know what, without tertiary education, I won't be able to get a job. You were able to work without a tertiary education, and obviously for good reasons why you cannot get to tertiary. And you did not limit yourself to say, no, I just have matric, then now because of that I cannot be able to do more. But how difficult was it for you to be able to survive without a tertiary qualification? How difficult was it?
I would say education is important.
Yes.
And as long as you're willing to educate yourself,
Yes.
I think what helps a lot is also your network.
Yes.
What helped me was I never got comfortable in the positions that I
No.
was placed in. I always made sure that I knew who was the manager and who was the manager's manager. And I started to build relationships.
Exactly.
There was a point where, and this was before we got married, and that's how we met each other, was at our first job.
Yes.
And that's how we actually met.
Yes.
Once we got married, everything just started to shift.
Yes.
At that time, I was earning a very low salary.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, I don't even know how am I going to be able to support myself,
Yes.
a wife, and if we have kids as well.
Yes.
And we both working for very low income.
Yes.
And I kid you not, in the few months before we got married,
Yes.
this is when that opportunity came up, and my salary probably 3x from what I was earning before. And the reason why that actually happened was because of the relationships that I built. And that's why I'll say, like, to answer your question directly, is to say, education is important. It will place you in positions above others, but experience is even way more important. And
Way
also,
more.
And
Way
building
more
your
important.
relationships and your network as well, because I say your network is your net worth.
Exactly.
And if you are able to build relationships with people, they'll tend to see you in a different light. So always place yourself in uncomfortable positions that will force you to learn new skills, and your new skills will be able to place you in positions where educational formal degrees might not give you an opportunity to.
Yes, yes. So, and I'm saying this because a lot of inventors, especially in the IT space, all these things that we see, most of them, I saw one of the inventors in the US graduating last week. And he started this big organization without any formal degree. And you just followed that path too. So, but then it only also tells us that, as you're saying, the connections that you need to build, the network that you create for yourself, and they're willing to learn. Because it's not the qualification that will learn for you. You can have it and then still stay at home and wait for somebody to come and rescue you. But you can have it while you are busy looking for something that will work for you. Because when you're talking about the banking background, that's exactly where I started too. Because I also went to banking with grade 12 while I was a student at the university. And fortunately, I got a permanent position at the bank, the branch level. and worked there for a very long time. So that is where the money, love for money and understanding money came in. So same thing, opening doors. Whenever I wanted a job somewhere, I'll go and knock and come in and say, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
And who's the manager? Actually, sometimes I don't even say what I'm looking for. I come there as if dressed well, as if I'm there for an appointment. Go to the secretary and say, can I see the manager? What do you want to know? This confidential. Then I go into the manager's office and then introduce myself. And mostly they will think that I'm one of the auditors who are coming there to audit. And they will treat me well, give me tea and everything. Then the minute I start telling them that I'm actually looking for a job, here's my CV. They're like, hey, you have confidence, eh?
And I think that's the missing piece today with this generation.
Yes.
Is that a lot of the times we think that something is going to be placed on your lap. You need to go out there and look for the opportunities that exist. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tell us about your background. After all the hardships, now you are able to get out of that family environment. What happens?
I myself as well, I don't have a formal tertiary education as well. So because of our conditions, we had to go and work. So I worked in a call center as well. But like he said, it's not, my dad always used to tell me that where you are is not where you belong. And I think that was always the thing that pushed me to do more and to just push myself out of my comfort zone. So when I worked in the call center, that is where we worked, and we just, pushed and we pushed and we pushed because we were not comfortable and complacent in the positions in where we were. So we always knew that there's more. There's more to do. There's more to learn. And that has brought us to a space where we are at now, where we've developed Panda without any formal education or any tech background. We just decided to do it on a whim. And that whim led to something successful. And it's true what he says, that you have to place yourself outside of your comfort zone, because if you're comfortable, it's not going to take you anywhere. You're going to stay and you're going to remain where you are. So that's very important. Take yourself out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. If you've already learned something on a specific subject, there's another subject to learn. If you've done something and you've achieved something, there's more to achieve. There's more to learn. So that's basically how we were molded. And we give thanks to our parents, because it's the sacrifices they made. And they pushed us. And sometimes we think our parents is too strict, or
they're too strict on us.
They're doing too much. And when I'm sitting here now, I can say thank you. Thank you that my parents did what they did. Thank you that they sacrificed for us. Thank you that they've pushed us to where we are at now, because we are who we are because of our parents.
Because of your parents.
And we can only be thankful for that.
Exactly.
Can I just say something about what she said? There's so she mentioned that her dad told her that where you started is not where you end. And there was a story that she always shared with me. She said when they were younger, because they grew up in El Dorado Park, her dad would always take them on drives to Sandton and say, look at the world. This is not what you confined to. And I think as parents as well, you play such an important role in your child seeing the world more than just that 4 dimensions that they grow up in. So for any advice maybe to the youth or to the generations, get out. Whether you take a taxi to Sandton on the weekend, just go and see the world and what opportunities exist out there.
And that is very, very good, because at the end of the day, as a parent, you play a big role in your child's life. And, they believe whatever you say most of the time when they are young. And if you tell them that they're going to be very stupid people when they grow up, that's exactly what they're going to believe. If you tell them that they are very bad people, they will believe that, and then they will become that. Exactly. And that is exactly the difference now, because he's taking his children to Sandton, the richest square meter in Africa. And they are seeing this, and they're like, how did these people get here? How did they make it to this level? If they can come here and be able to do whatever they do here, we can be able to do it too. And that confidence stays with you. Same thing with me. My dad used to say to me, my boy, you're a very good artist, you can write things and all that. And if I write something, he will go and read that. He didn't go to school, but he will just look at it and then read it, though he might not understand some few things, but then he will read that so that he can just encourage me.
Yeah.
He didn't know the careers like accounting and all these things, but he said to me when I wanted to like completely forget about accounting because the money side was not doing well and everything, he said, but you wanted to learn about money. Why don't you go to careers that allow you to do that?
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I ended up in the money side of things. And you guys have been, your parents have been pioneers in your life. But it doesn't take away the fact that there are kids out there who have parents who are not supportive.
Yeah.
And that should not be a discouraging factor to say, but I have now an excuse to say I'm not going to make it because my parents do not encourage me.
100%.
You should be encouraged by people around you. You should be encouraged by the environment that you're in also.
Exactly.
So, and here comes the moment where you guys come across this situation that you say you came across and you open your eyes and your paradigm shifts. What shifts this paradigm? What makes you change and say, yes, of course, we are employees, but we also want to be entrepreneurs. We want to own something. We want something that can change lives, number one, but it can also be an inheritance for our children and our children's children. How, where does that come from? What is this paradigm shift? Because a lot of times we are so scared of starting.
Yeah. Well, I'll maybe say this is the change. We got to a point where we became so comfortable.
Yes.
Because you work
Yes.
your way up the
I
career
know
ladder.
that. I know that. I know that space.
And you become so comfortable in the space because you become used to routine.
Yes.
I'm gonna wake up at this time. I'm gonna be finished at this time.
Yes.
And you don't want to interrupt or ruin that routine. You want to
Yes.
keep to that habit. But then there came an event that happened in 2019, and I don't think we'll speak on it because it's still a little bit raw.
Yes.
And
Understood.
so there came a situation in 2021,
Yes.
that shifted that entire mindset that we were like, okay, I think we're getting a bit too comfortable
Yes.
in our situation that we find ourselves in. Let's take a risk. And we were Joburg babies,
Yes.
born and raised, and we were like, we'll never ever leave Joburg. This is our place.
Yes.
And an opportunity came for a career move to Cape Town. And our family and everyone is in Joburg at the time, and we were like, no, how can we leave this?
Yeah.
This is comfortable. And we told ourselves, and that's what's the importance of having a supportive wife as well,
Yes.
is when you have someone that supports you in everything that you do. She said, let's take the risk.
Wow.
And we
That's
took the risk to
beautiful.
move to Cape Town. And from there, my wife always asked me the question, I know you love developing. I've seen the
Yes.
things that you've built.
Yes.
Do you ever see a career for yourself within that space? And I said, I think so. Then she said, okay, maybe just build something as a hobby. And that's how Panda came into
Wow.
existence. We owned an outsourcing payroll company and I was working at the same time. So I'd done this simultaneously.
Yes.
So I was doing payroll for many other companies,
Yes.
but I was using different payroll softwares.
Yes.
And there were so many gaps in these softwares that I identified, and a lot of them were so expensive, and they were cutting into our bottom line and into our
Yes.
margin. And this is when I said, no, I need to build something that can do this for us, and we can save some money. And we built this tool just to use it as a hobby and internally for ourselves.
Yes.
And this is where we saw that there's so many other businesses that need this tool as well.
Yes.
And we started our pricing so low as 25 Rand
Yes.
per employee for the first employee. And then it scales dramatically
Yes.
down to 7 Rand 50 per employee after that. And people always ask us, why is it so cheap?
Yes.
How you guys making money? And we always say that we're not in the game to make money. We're in the game to change people's lives and to create tools for people to be able to
Yes.
thrive. So at the end of the day, that shift has to come from a place where you want to own something and you want to leave a legacy behind for those that come after you.
Yes.
And that's what changed for us dramatically. Yeah.
Tell us about Panda, because whenever we meet on lives and everywhere, you are so fond of this app called Panda. Tell us more about Panda. What does Panda do? Because now they've been hearing him saying Panda this, Panda that.
Yeah.
Then they're wondering, but I hear it's HR, but there are people who do not have a clue what a payroll system is. and we are under the impression that not everyone understands. It's something that anyone understands, you know. But there are kids out there, there are young people out there who may not really understand what a payroll system is. They do know what a payslip is because obviously we need to see that so that we can get paid. But what is a payroll system? What is this Panda payroll system? What does it do? Tell us about that.
So Panda is a payroll software that automates your payroll processing and it helps you to keep compliant.
Yes.
So your UIF and your pay as you earn calculations are done automatically for you. You then have your pay slips where you can do reporting, which help you then make better decisions within your organization as well. So it's basically an end-to-end where it automates and runs your payroll system and keeps you compliant. But what we did was we thought, how do we take it a step further in solving an issue within our communities and small businesses? And that is where we've developed the payroll, the WhatsApp integration as well as the Panda payroll. So with the WhatsApp integration, we've noticed that there's a lot of deskless employees for small businesses that they have. So we saw that there's a gap where we can then integrate with WhatsApp, where the employees can then access their pay slips and IFP5s via WhatsApp. They can then also request or submit their leaves via WhatsApp, and then they will receive the notifications via WhatsApp. We've also then noticed that many small businesses don't understand or don't know the important dates for submission for them to stay compliant. Like there's your monthly EMP 201s, and then there's your biannually EMP 501s, and etc. And we decided, let's build our own payroll calendar. So with this calendar, there's those important dates. Once you initialize on our application, you would then get reminders on a monthly basis. You would get it 7 days before the time, 3 days before the time, the day before, and on the day. So that will ensure that you as a business owner do not miss your submissions for those important documentation so that you can stay compliant. Because we know what happens when you don't stay compliant. We do know.
True.
And that is why we've developed this Panda payroll calendar to just assist these businesses and help them to stay compliant, because you're a small business and you cannot afford to be fined. You cannot afford to be fined when you are not compliant with SARS, and that is why we've developed that.
And a lot of people get in trouble with SARS because of not following these processes of doing proper payroll and all those kind of things. So you guys are solving a very serious problem. It's a problem that SARS is having. It's a problem that us as small businesses are having, where you don't have proper payroll. Sometimes you don't even declare what you earn, and at the end of the day you get into trouble. And if you look at the situation now in the country, we have people who are artists, for example. These guys, they go and sign contracts on their personal capacity, start getting a lot of money from gigs, get a lot of money from sponsorships, get a lot of money from the royalties. And all this money is coming straight to their personal account. There's no accountability. And at the end, after maybe years, SARS goes for them and then they get into trouble. So what do you say to people like that?
I think it was in the news quite recently with these influencers as well. They receive so many sponsorships and large sums of money that they just think they can spend it left, right, and center. I think what's important is having a tool like Panda. It eliminates the manual work. So a lot of companies also use these Excel spreadsheets. And it becomes so difficult to maintain this manual work on a monthly basis. So I think what's important, our pricing is so affordable. Utilize the tool. We also offer a free 30-day trial. So you take it for a test drive.
So you can take it for a test drive without paying anything.
Exactly.
If you don't want it, obviously you're not going to take it.
You're not gonna.
So which means then anyone can try it. As a business or as a sole proprietor, you can try it, see if it works for you, and then if you don't see the benefit out of it, then you can leave. But if you see the benefit out of it, then you can join in. It's very
affordable, especially if you're an individual. And people usually think like, okay, payroll software, I need to have a company. I need to be have a huge group of people.
That's exactly what people think.
And that's not the case. You can be a sole entrepreneur, you can be an influencer, you can be an artist, and you have and you run your own payroll. And it's as little as 25 rand. It's like a loaf of bread.
It's a loaf of bread.
In South Africa.
And you're paying for that once a month.
Once a month.
And you buy bread every day.
Every single day. and you get access to the full modules of everything that we get to offer. So I think what's really important for businesses and individuals to understand is rather spend that little bit of time every month ensuring that you remain compliant. Then when SARS decides to come after you, then you've got this big bill racked up that now you need to pay, and it becomes difficult to pay. What I also would like to mention is that we also offer 15-minute consultations, which are for free. So if you need help to set up your account, if you need help to in any type of way, you can set up that meeting with us and be able to guide you through that.
Yes, because when talking about influencers, as an accountant, I do know that, and also a former banker, I do know that you are able to, even if you don't want to register a company, you are able to open a sole proprietor account at the bank and have, you will know that, sole proprietor account at the bank and have your personal account. Which means from the sole proprietor account, that is where all the royalties and all the other monies that are for business will go in, and then only month end or the 15th or whichever date you choose, you will pay yourself a salary. And you have a pay slip for that. Then with that pay slip, you are able to go ask for credit, buy a house, buy a car, and that is where you see how much you can afford. Because now you are relying on your salary instead of the whole amount. Because the minute you are relying on everything that goes into your account, then your affordability will go skyrocket. And then that's where you're going to be driving big cars, you're going to be staying in mansions and everything. But you are depending on a gross income that has a lot of business expenses.
It's not a predictable income.
And also you are looking at an amount that can be just for this year because of the gigs that you're having this year, and next year you might not have those gigs.
100%.
But if you pay yourself a certain amount per month and you live within your means, then you are able to invest most of the money for rainy seasons because your job is not guaranteed. So that payroll plays a big role then. It changes everything about, yesterday I saw another celebrity, is also an influencer and a podcaster, saying that, guys, you see me where I am now. I'm owing millions to SARS. I'm owing millions and I am paying those monies back. So it's not easy for us. It is very difficult. I wish I had somebody who advised me back then, but I didn't get that advice. And these are our people that we look up to. And they are in trouble because they did not know, most of them. They had no clue what to do. So, and with Panda coming in to try and, make sure that you have a steady income, which means that even if this month you did not do any gigs or you did not get any royalties and you have $1 million in your sole proprietor account, you are able to then channel your salary into your personal account and your salary stays the same.
100%.
Wow. And so how then do you integrate this to SARS? Because obviously we're talking about tax and everything. How then do these people end up knowing how much they're supposed to pay to SARS? Let's say I'm a business person, I have 2 employees or 3 employees, and then month end, I'm supposed to pay these people. Then obviously you'll tell me how much the net amount is that I must pay to them. And then how then do I know how much I must pay to SARS? Can tell us about that.
So with Panda, we do have where you can generate your EMP 201s and EMP 501s automatically. So all you have to do is go under filing and then you generate that and then you submit it via e-filing to SARS. So you don't have to do any calculations. The system does that for you.
Yes. So you don't have to sit with a calculator and start calculating one by one.
No,
so this is the gross minus, UIF minus tax, and then we come down to net, and then the next thing they phone you and say, but boss, my salary is incorrect. So you don't have to do that.
No,
the system will calculate
100%.
that for
We
you.
take out all the guesswork. The system automates everything completely. And you get this report that you just need to pay to SARS directly.
Then what happens, because every year the minister will come and say, there are changes on the tax brackets and all that. What happens then?
So our systems are 100% compliant. As soon as anything changes, and this is the nice thing about our application as well. Everything we have internal notifications as well as email notifications. So even if you didn't watch the news that day and the
Yes.
minister increases the tax
Yes.
bracket, we notify you that
Yes.
the tax brackets have been
Yes.
increased.
Yes.
If you see a change on your tax,
Yes.
please know
That
that
it is
it's
because
been
of
increased
that.
because of that. And then we make the updates in the background
Yes.
as well. And then everything is trackable. So all the tax tables for 2025, 2024 is in the system. So the correct tax brackets will be applied for the right years as well.
Yes.
So even if people want to start using the application today and they want to start backdating it, they have the option to backdate it and the right tax will be applied for that period.
That is perfect. Because now, that is another question that a person may ask. You say, what if I end up paying, or paying too much? Maybe the tax went down and then I'm still paying the old tax, in the old tax bracket. And if that is the case, then which means then a lot of mistakes that we may make as individuals, because I already know that this one's tax is 3,000. I calculated it last year. So I just continue paying 3,000, not knowing that the person, is supposed to be maybe 3.5 now. And what about a situation where, because brackets, tax tables work in this way, where if I'm earning 20,000, for example, I'll be in a certain tax bracket, and then the table changes, or the tax bracket changes as I go higher.
Exactly.
So will the system pick it up that now my salary is increased to a different bracket, and then it will do the calculations on its own?
100%. So as soon as your salary increases, it pushes you in that next bracket.
Yes.
And the nice thing about it as well is because it prorates your tax that you need to pay.
Yes.
So the calculations are 100% accurate. Whereas with human intervention,
Yes.
you'll make a calculation based on what you see on your payslip.
Yes.
And you won't calculate the amounts that you've been paid previously as well. So we take out all the guesswork.
Yes.
We make everything automated.
Exactly.
And you get a track like that payslip. People don't know the power of having a payslip and what doors
It's very
it opens
powerful.
for you as well. So
It's
just
very
having
powerful.
that,
Wow. And this eliminates a situation where, a lot of business people will call us and say, can I please have an accountant letter? No, I want to buy a car. Now they want an accountant letter. Then we prepare an accountant letter. Oh, no. They said they also want 3 years financials. And then they come back for financials. So in a situation where you have a payslip, in most places they will accept the payslip as is, as your source of income. And maybe 3 months bank statement showing that this income is coming into your account. If they are not happy, they can ask for 6 months.
Exactly.
And if that 6 months the salary is coming in, why do they need more information when they have reliable information on your payslip? And without a payslip, a lot of times we see that clients do not really pay themselves a proper salary. They end up taking different amounts in different days, in different days and months. So they don't really have a steady income. And that already gives a red flag when you go to the bank, asking for a loan. Because now you don't have a steady income, you don't have a regular date that you pay yourself. But with Paid Panda, then you are regulated now. Because you cannot have a pay slip and the net amount on your bank account is different from the pay slip. So you need to pay yourself exactly what is in the pay slip.
And also another thing, if people want to pay themselves more frequently, the application allows you to pay yourself weekly,
bi-weekly,
or monthly.
Yes. Then you have a pay slip that shows that.
100%.
So that we don't limit them, because there are people who are saying, no, my company is not making a lot of money. So I don't have a chunk that I can pay myself at the end of the month. So instead they can do a weekly salary, where every Friday they pay themselves and the pay slip will show that. Wow. So it's sophisticated in such a way that it can now do a weekly salary and a monthly salary, just like that.
Just like that.
Wow, that's beautiful, eh? That's beautiful. Well, how about a situation where I'm an employer and now I want to maybe have, what do we call this? Maybe funeral policy for my employees that must deduct from their pay slips. Can I add such things?
100%. So we have a lot of fixed rates that are already added to the system. So you don't have to go and set them up. But we also have the flexibility of creating custom rates. So if you have something that's unique to your organization, and this is only a benefit that we offer to our employees because we want to make it a bit more favorable for new hires to join us, you can set that up as well. And also we do help you if you do not have a technical background. It's so simple. It's just a
Yes.
click of a button. But if you need someone to hold your hand,
Yes.
we can set up that
You are
time,
there.
and we are there to help you through the
Wow.
process.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you did this yourselves. You created this app yourselves. It's not something that was borrowed from outside the country, maybe in the US, UK, or anything like that. Is he correct?
Yes, correct.
Born and
Yes,
bred in
yes,
South
yes,
Africa.
Born
correct.
and bred in
Yes.
South Africa.
Yeah.
And we should be proud of this.
Yes.
And this is exactly what innovation is about. You know, we innovate. And the good thing about it is that it's a South African brand. As a South African brand, it focuses on South African way of doing things.
Yes.
So this is a payslip that can talk to me as a South African instead of something that may be more towards a foreign system than a South African system.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that we should really celebrate. So talking about the company, who's the boss in the company? Between the two of you.
So I'm the CEO.
Yes.
And I think what's really important, and Samantha looks after the product as well.
Yes.
What really helps us is in terms of the company itself. I don't get involved in the space that she owns and that she is responsible for, but we collaborate.
Yes.
And I think what's really important is once you have your roles, your processes, your policies,
Yes.
and even as a small company, it's really important just to know your numbers, know everything that's happening in your business. So when it comes to being the boss of the company, I'm in charge of the strategic direction
Yes.
that the company takes, and then we collaborate to say, okay, is this what we want to see
Yes.
for the next 5 years?
Yes.
100%.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then you determine roles in the business. You say, this is your role and this is my role. This is what I do. This is what you do. Because that is one other problem in businesses, especially businesses that husband and wife are involved.
Very difficult.
It's very difficult to run such a business. And it is very fortunate that we have you here today, because that's one thing that I want you guys to address. Because a lot of times we end up fighting in the company and we take that fight home.
100%.
Or we fight at home and bring the fight into the company.
Yes.
And we end up not working well.
Yeah.
So how do you handle this? How you told me that you separated your roles. You have your own part. She has her own part. But then how then do you manage conflict that may happen at work and maybe at home, that it doesn't affect the business?
Yeah. Do you want to take this? Or
Yes, you can take that. Yes.
So for us, it's been very difficult. It hasn't been easy. Where
Yes.
we are at now,
Yes.
as business partners,
Yes.
being husband and wife,
Yes.
it's not been easy at all. It's been a lot of trial and error.
Yes.
So it's not that we woke up one day and we decided that's your role, that's my role. This is how we're going to then work together while working
Yes.
in our own separate roles. So it has been very difficult, but it has been a lot of trial and error. But we came to decide that it's very important. What is our vision for the company? We have to make that a priority. What impact do we want to make within our communities with small businesses? Because we realized if we're going to go back and forth, that's not serving our vision at all.
No.
So we had to take a break and
Yes.
just go think about it, and
Yes.
then we had to regroup, and we said, okay, we see now that we need to, it's very important that we need to separate personal from business. And it's very important that we don't take business home.
Yes.
So we need to separate that. So it's not been easy at
Yes.
all. Lot of fights, lot of conflicts. You go through the motion, and that is
Yes.
running a business, that is being married. So, but once you find your footing with the trial and error, because you
Yes.
learn a lot from trial and error, and that is where we are at now, where we can then work well together, having our separate departments.
Yes.
And, when we have policies in place, we mentioned policies for our business is very important.
Wow.
And we as the
Wow.
directors of the company, we have to comply with the policy as well, because of the policy dictates in our company that this is how things should go. We as the owners need to comply as well.
Yes.
It's not just
True.
for employees. And we've come to that realization, and hence now we in this space where we're working differently. And there's not to say there's no conflicts or there's no, times where it's a bit tough between the two of us.
Yes.
But once we have that policies in place, we have to comply. Once we know what our vision and our mission is, we have to comply because we developed this for a reason.
Yes.
And if we do not come to the realization that we have to work together, it's very important that we do, then it's not going to work. So that's where we've come to the
Yes.
space where we are at now.
100%.
Wow.
They say teamwork
Yes,
makes
teamwork.
the dream work.
Dream
Yeah.
work,
Yes.
So we always, I think what's important is never let something simmer for too long.
Yes.
If there's a problem, address it head on, deal with it,
Yes.
and then put it behind you and move forward to the next
Yes,
thing.
true.
And that is a lesson that we've not just learned in business but in our marriage as well.
Yes.
Is that if you're facing some conflict, resolve the matter and
Wow.
then move forward to the next thing. Because what we're trying to build is bigger than ourselves.
It's
Yes.
bigger than
individually,
you,
100%.
yes.
And if we can see the bigger picture and what we want to accomplish and what we want to build, it's a generational company. Eventually, we won't be here anymore, but there'll be someone else that will take over.
Yes.
And the legacy that we're trying to leave behind is more important than what we are going through in terms of our personal lives. And we've learned a lot. And I think if you can just leave the foundation of your marriage and you say, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to
Yes.
follow things, everything starts to fall into place
Yes,
eventually.
true. You know, you just touched a lot of things that are very important. You touched on the vision.
Yeah.
You know, that you have a vision and you want this vision to be fulfilled. You have a mission, you know, that you want to implement here and then reach the goals that you have. And you sold these goals to each other. You sold this vision to each other. And then you started seeing with the same lens. And because of that, then you aligned.
Yeah.
Yes.
And after the alignment, now you no longer do it for you.
Yes.
You do it for the business and the future of your business and the community that you are leading.
Yes.
And whenever you think of it, you no longer think of it as your family issue. You think of it as this brand
Yes.
that you have built that has an impact in the community, an impact in the small business space. So I think that is profound. That is very deep. And you talked about policies. That is one thing that a lot of small businesses do not take care of. Having policies is like having rules in a household.
Yeah.
A household without rules, kids will just jump on top of the tables and break TVs and break windows and do whatever they want because there are no rules.
Yeah.
But the minute you start putting rules, these kids start behaving. Teenagers will come home at whatever time they want if there are no rules in the house.
Yeah.
Until there are rules, then they will behave. And you're saying we have policies in our company. And the minute you have policies, that's when a company now has a culture. You develop a culture, you know, that even the people behind you who will come and join you or who are with you now will know that our bosses prefer this.
Yeah.
And then they will go according to that. And that's how a business foundation is built.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy to hear that, you know, you have policies in place also. And when you have policies in place, even bigger organizations respect you because that's how they operate.
Yeah.
So they now see that, oh, this one is one of us. So we can trust these guys, you know. So I'm so happy to know that you are a family, but you're also business partners and you can separate the two. Because that's another challenge where you don't separate personal and business.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, whenever people work together, they fight and then they destroy everything that they've built together. And that is the problem. But then now, there's one big thing behind everything else. I understand that you have started a business and you charge a very low amount. How then do you deal with the issue of money in the business? Because a lot of times, two partners or two directors in the business, one may be, you know, a spender, another one an investor, and this becomes a very, very, very tough situation. How do you handle such issues in your business?
I think like it will probably lead back to the beginning of the
Yes.
conversation. So we started off with very low incomes.
Yes.
And we both worked in a call center.
Yes.
So we were able to see how people manage their money.
Yes.
Because we were the guys that call the people that most people don't like. That's probably listening to the show.
Yes.
That we call in because you owe on this account and we need a payment.
Yes,
and they don't follow 100%.
yes.
So by seeing that, we always made a decision that I don't want to find myself in that
situation.
one day.
Yes.
My wife is one that loves reading. She's got a whole collection of books, and she's always upskilling herself.
Yes.
I think one thing that we always upskill ourselves is how do we manage finances.
Yes.
So when it comes to money, we know how to separate. This is business money.
Yes.
And this is what we earn as a salary
Yes.
per month. Outside of that, we're not going to tap into that. If we need to get business resources, we use that business money and we allocate a budget for that. But we have a segregation of duties as well. So I can't just go and spend without getting approval from her,
that's
and
beautiful.
vice versa as
Yes.
well. So there's always like policies and in place that, okay, if we need something, we need to discuss it first.
Yes.
And what's the importance of this for our business as well.
Exactly. And I believe that just, poured into your marriage also. Because if you are able to manage money in the business side, that also makes it easier for you to manage money in your marriage. Is that correct?
100%.
No, that's correct. And it boils down to, if we have a vision for this company, we cannot just spend. So we've set certain rules in place for the business money. Like you said, business money is business money, and we leave that separate from our personal. You pay yourself your salary, and that is the money that we will use for our personal capacity. So those rules are important, and it's important that we comply to those rules.
Yes.
And it's important that we are each other's accountability partners.
Yes.
So then that helps us not to slip, that helps us not to do our own thing. And it's very important that we've discussed and that we've agreed upon and we've put that rule in place. That business money is business money, and with our personal money, that is personal money. And it's also very important with budgeting.
Yes.
Budgeting is very important. And it's very important that you stick to the budget, because you can budget,
Yes.
and then you just go haywire because you tell yourself, I only live once.
That's what we tell
I
ourselves.
owe it to myself.
I only live
I've worked
once.
hard.
I owe it to myself. Yes.
So it's very discipline.
Yes.
Discipline is important because to create that budget, it's very easy. But the discipline that you need to have to comply, that's very important.
Wow. Because at the end of the day, this is one big thing this show is about. Money. Because it boils down to money. Even if we start businesses with passion and wanting to help, but at the end of the day, there must be money in the household.
Yeah.
We need to eat. We need kids to go to school. We need to grow the business. And with that comes responsibilities when it comes to money. And a lot of times, either partner will say to the other, no, you don't love me. That's why you don't want me to take the money and go and buy myself a new dress or a new suit. Can you please just allow me to take money now? But you guys are saying, you know what, we have come to a situation where we are disciplined enough to understand that we separate our money. This is business money. It will be used for the business. We are paying ourselves a salary for the roles that we played in the business.
Yes.
Not that he works alone and then you get a salary. And he also gets a salary, but when we work, he's the only one working. Or she's the only one working and you get paid. But she's doing her part, you're doing your part. Exactly. And at the end of the day, you get paid a salary. Yeah. And that's how you guys operate.
100%.
Yeah, that's important.
Wow.
And there's a very important quote that I read in a book that says, use it up, weigh it out. Use it up, weigh it out, make it work, or do without. And that is the policy, the quote that we are trying to follow, because in terms of money. But these are lessons that we've learned because of financial mistakes we've made.
Yes.
We weren't perfect and we just, we came from this and we knew all of these things. No, we didn't.
You learned.
A lot of trial and error, a lot of mistakes we've made in the past when it comes to money. But we are thankful that we've learned from those mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's important is don't be afraid to start something because you're afraid to make a mistake. Because we've made a lot of mistakes starting this company. Just even deciding what language to build the application on.
Yes.
And at a later stage, you begin to realize like, this language wasn't built to scale the company. Now I need to go back to the drawing board. But at the end of the day, whatever you decide, always pivot, always change, always learn from someone, have a mentor and someone that's doing it,
Yes.
that you can learn from. It doesn't have to be in the same space that you're doing in.
Yes.
Podcasts like this as well, you get to see through a different lens.
Yes.
Like I can watch someone that's in the real estate
Yes.
business and seeing how they were able to scale
Yes.
their business. I use the same blueprint.
Yes.
Because there's so many amazing entrepreneurs in South Africa that have built things from the ground up. Follow those guys and
Yes.
see how
And
they
see,
build their
learn from
companies
them.
and learn from them. 100%.
Wow. Because at the end of the day, no one is an island.
Yeah.
You cannot just know everything on your own. And there are mistakes that you may not have to repeat because somebody else has gone through that. Like what you're saying now. You know, whoever is watching this is learning that, you know what, starting a business is not an easy thing, but it is possible.
Yeah.
And handling money is not an easy thing, but it's possible. And these are the people that made it. Let me find out who they are. Let me approach them and say, guys, I do need you to advise me. How do I handle this? And you will be able to get help instead of you dying on your own wherever you are. Because there are people who, you know, the pride that they have do not allow them to say, you know what, I need help now. And you talked about a mentor. There are times where we think, you know what, I know it all. I don't need anyone to teach me until we get into trouble. And that's when we'll go around asking for help.
Exactly.
So instead of waiting for trouble to come, prevent it from coming. Because you have people who have been in the industry or different industry, but that you can learn from and be able to, you know, to grow as a business through that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a mouthful. What a mouthful. I don't know, man, because I'm still fascinated by the fact that you created an app that works, and that can work on any industry. It doesn't matter whether I'm a fashion designer, I'm a medium business that is busy supplying cement with trucks to Cape Town or whatever, I'm able to use this thing. But you talked about one big part that a lot of apps do not have or might not be having at the moment: WhatsApp. You spoke about WhatsApp. You said, because I tried it myself. I went through it. I tried it, and then you said, you know what? Go to your WhatsApp and ask for your payslip. And then I asked for my payslip, and my payslip just came to my WhatsApp. So if your employees are not tech savvy, even people who are not tech savvy, most of the people, even my mother-in-law has WhatsApp.
Yeah.
She can do a voice note and send it to WhatsApp, then I will hear it. Even though she might not type, but she will do a voice note. And if I send a picture, she'll be able to open it.
Yeah.
So if she was employed in my company and she wanted a payslip and she said the bank, instead of talking to HR saying that I want my payslip and HR is in a meeting and she must wait for them to finish so that they can forward the payslip, she can just go into her app or ask somebody, say, banker, please type here and tell this thing to give you a payslip. And then you can just type in and then the payslip will come.
100%. You see, and I don't want to make it come across as if we're the only company.
Yes.
There's a lot of companies that offer the service, but it's a plug-in to their existing platform.
Yes.
Ours is something that comes standard off the
Standard.
shelf.
It's not added.
It's not an added feature.
There's no added fees.
Yeah, there's no added fees. Everything comes inclusive of that price.
Yes.
So it's not like, okay, now I need to go and source this out to plug into my system.
already there.
It's already there. And that's what makes it so valuable is that we offer so many features that premium payroll softwares offer as well, but at a premium price, and we offering it at a very affordable rate.
Yes.
So that was the whole idea is like, how do we create a software that doesn't only solve a problem in terms of tax, but solves the technical problem behind it as well.
Exactly. And before we finish, we need to talk about your pricing. You said you start from what?
From 25 Rand per month.
Yes.
And for the first employee.
Yes.
And then for employee number
more
2,
employees,
it's between 2 and 10, it's 7 Rand 50
Yes.
extra per employee. So it's so affordable. I think if you have 100 employees, the rate that you'll be paying is going to be way less than 500 Rand a month.
Yes.
Whereas if you have to go online and just do comparisons to the pricing,
Very
you'll see that
affordable.
there's no one that comes close to
Yes.
us.
But then what I need to ask this. What made you decide to charge a low amount or an affordable amount? What made you guys decide that? and if that still make you break even, such a way that you can make a good profit at the end of the year.
You wanna
For
take that?
us, we come from communities
Yes.
with hardships.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we had in mind, is how do we serve our communities? How do we serve the small businesses within our communities with affordable payroll? Because if we're being realistic, if we create a payroll software and we charge these premium prices, how are we making an impact? How are we making a difference? You understand? So that is the reason, that's where we come with our pricing, is so that we can help small businesses with accessibility to affordable payroll software.
Yes.
And we believe payroll is not a luxury, it's a necessity for every business.
Yes, it
And
is.
we just brainstormed and we're like, how do we go about this where we solve an actual problem, where we help, where we make a difference, where we make an impact? And hence that's where we came with our pricing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can take it from the
Yeah, I think our pricing was very strategic.
Yes.
It wasn't something that we just thumbs up and said, okay, we want to get into the
Yes.
market. And there are over 2 million businesses registered on the SIPs in South Africa.
2 million,
Over
yes.
2 million. And probably we can maybe take a small percentage of that are profitable.
Yes.
Our target and our goal is to reach 50,000 businesses
Yes.
by the next 3 years.
50,000, yes.
And that will definitely make us a profitable business. We're in it for the long term. We're not here just to be a fly by night.
Yes, yes.
And we want to build a business that is going to make an impact and going to make a difference in the communities and in the
Yes.
country as well.
So if you have 50,000 businesses, I'm doing my calculations already. Then it will be a good amount.
It'll be a good
A
amount.
good
100%,
amount.
yeah,
A gross revenue, a good gross revenue
100%.
right there. And that for me is something that I also heard from another mentor of ours in Limpopo, somebody we look up to, when we talked about things like funeral policies, when they started in the villages and townships in Limpopo, it was because of this man. And he said, what I did was very simple. I looked at the community that I was going to service, and I saw that there's a gap. The gap was funeral policies and life covers were very expensive. Then I said to myself, I'm going to sell affordable funeral policies to the community. And I'm going to target pensioners, I'm going to target employees, and I'm going to sell these to them. And through that, it means then that a lot of people will afford the funeral policy. They're not going to be saying, you know what, a pensioner, I can't afford this, it's too much for me. And he managed to get a lot of customers, and he built an empire out of that. So there's a market that is neglected.
100%.
And that's exactly where you target it.
Yes.
That market that is neglected, that cannot afford these apps that are available at the moment. And even if they can, but there are those who do afford, but they do want something that is less, pricey. And you are saying, I'm targeting these guys. And that's the community that you come from. And the minute you do that, that's exactly what will make you feel good. Because at the end of the day, as business people, I know that the feeling of helping people and seeing people being successful because you contributed into their business is very good.
100%.
Very good feeling. So currently, are you fully in the business, all of you, or one of you is the one that is fully running the business?
So we're both fully in the business.
Wow.
Running it full
Yes.
end to end.
Wow.
So this is our full-time employment.
Wow. Because that's another question that is very important. A lot of times, I'm also the same. I'm full-time in the business. A lot of times, we tend to slow the growth of the business because we don't give it our all. Not to say those who are full-time employed somewhere and running a business are wrong, but when I tried it myself, I realized that I never had a life anymore because I would go to work, and after work, when I come back, my email is full. And some of the work that I need to do will take me up to midnight, which means then I no longer have time for family anymore. There's no knocking off because when I knock off from work, when I get home, I must work again. And then it also started affecting my full-time job because I go there tired the following day. So it started affecting my full-time job. Then that's when I realized that it might be important if this employment that I have gives me this much and my business is giving me this much, then which means if I leave this income, I will still be able to survive with this one. Though the risk here may be higher, but the potential of growth is very high. This side, yes, there's a guarantee maybe of income, but when COVID hit, I realized that this guarantee is not even there. Whether I'm here or here, there's no guarantee. 100%. Rather focus here and focus on my own company and build something that I can leave for the next generation. And recently when I was at home, my niece is saying, I'm doing commerce. Then okay, do commerce. What do you want to do? I'm going to be an accountant. Why? Because I'm going to be working with you.
Wow.
So now you already see kids who are saying, you know what, we are building our careers based on your model. We are going to join you and take this further. So I don't know what she'll do when she arrives. She might take this to a different level, maybe an international level, that I could not myself. But who is going to create jobs for our kids if we don't create jobs for them?
I think you're touching on a very important point. I think people receive a permanent contract of employment and they think that it's permanent. COVID proved that anything can change.
Anything can change.
And that contract that you receive of a permanent income and security is not going to be lasting for a long time.
No.
So that was one of our scares as well, was like, okay, we built ourselves up the career ladder. We got to very comfortable positions in the corporate world. But not everything is going to last forever. We want to build something where there can be some sense of something that we can control. And that's what we're trying to drive, is building a company that for our kids one day, they can just step into a job without having to work through the hardships that we had to walk through.
Looking at the small business space, we just talked about job creation. And that's exactly where our jobs are going to come from. I was sitting with somebody the other time and he was telling me that the government is not meant to create jobs. It is meant to create an environment where businesses can create jobs. And that is not what people understand. They believe that one day there will be a miracle and government will create so many jobs and everyone will be employed. But the government is there to create an environment and administer that environment where small businesses, big business can operate successfully and have an advantage maybe than the other countries and have that advantage so that they can go outside the country and be able to do business outside. So the question that I want to pose to you now is, what do you see in the small business space? Do you see, do you have hope that the small business space is going to flourish at the end of the day, and where these small businesses will become formalized and grow and become bigger organizations?
Want me to?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. I think there's hope. I think that especially the spaces that I've worked in quite recently, I see that the younger people are starting to shape the way they think. I think the older generation, we got taught, buy a house, get a car, get yourself a good job. And I think we read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And we started attending these cash flow games where you would play, and it teaches you financial literacy and freedom. And I think the younger people are a bit more risk takers, and they want to take the opportunities and the risk out there. I think a lot of them are taught that you need funding to start something. Funding is important, but I don't think it is a necessity to get yourself started and out the door. If you've got a service that is valuable and you can offer someone, give it out and sell it to the people. And I think the future of South Africa is looking bright. I think there are a few brilliant people that I can think top of mind right now that I had the privilege of working with and working for as well, that are going to take this country into different places. And I think people are being inspired by these people as well. So that is my hope. And I won't mention these people individually, but there's a lot of people that I can think of that are making a huge difference in our communities in our country.
Okay. No, and that is, for me, that is very good, because we want these small businesses to believe that they can make it. And we always talk about on where we meet on our lives, we speak about starting with what you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is very important. Start with what you have. And we have seen people who were saying, no, I can't do it. And then we said to them, start with what you have. And they started with what they had, and they are scaling up. And it doesn't mean that because Panda has an app that they started, I must tomorrow morning say, I'm also starting an app, then I need 1 million funding so that I can start.
Yeah.
I can start with something else.
Exactly.
I can start by selling fruits.
Yeah.
But the main goal, I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
There are a lot of business people that started with different businesses that they started and they sold so that they can get to the goal. We talk about the richest man in the world right now. How many businesses did he sell in his lifetime? So that he can get to the businesses that he wanted to run that he is having now.
Yeah.
And some of the business that he might be having now may be just to channel him to where he wants to be. Not to say this is the main dream that I wanted. So it is one of the things that our young people should know, that the entrepreneur mindset is already there, but the capital part of it, where you need money, sometimes start with what you have.
Yes.
And start from there and build from that. Because there's always a need out there. And look at the need, look at the problem that people have, and try and find a way to solve it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how Panda came about.
100%.
It was solving a problem
Yeah.
that no one else was really ready to solve.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to take this opportunity and thank you for joining us and sharing this information with us. Sometimes we ask very personal questions.
Yeah.
And you were ready to answer all those questions. And we really appreciate you being here. And before we go, we want to find out how then I'm interested in having Panda app as my payroll system. Where do I find this payroll system?
100%. So we do have a website, which is www.pss.strokegroup.co.za. It has all the information on there as well.
Yes.
We do have a lot of socials. So you'll find us on LinkedIn, you'll find
Yes,
us on
on social
Instagram,
media,
TikTok.
yes.
We're there as well. And we also pop up in the lives as well,
Yes.
where people are talking. So we will find you, and you can
Yes.
find us on our
Yes.
socials and on our
Yes.
website as well. So it is pss-group.co.za. You can find us online, or even if you go to Google and you just say Panda Payroll, we'll pop up
You will
the
show,
first
yes.
option. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
For coming in, and we really wish you all the best with the work that you're doing and the community that you're building. That, of course, in a few years' time, we'll come back and visit this podcast and say, this is where we started, and then we interview you again to see where you are at that moment. And thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having us.
Thank you for watching. If you have been watching this from the beginning to now, I believe that you enjoyed this podcast. And because of that, it will be good if you subscribe so that next time when we go live, you are able to join us and watch our live. This is the Financial Literacy Corner. It's a corner where businesses, individuals meet and talk about money, talk about making money, talk about how to spend money, and everything that has to do with money. Your free space where you are able to express yourself without compromise. Thank you so much and enjoy your day.